what's going on now.
This seems like a typical. You can almost expect that if you're an enemy of the state, that they're gonna find some extraneous charge to bring you in to control you. This is what's happening with Julian Assange right now. Is he's gotten taken in on rape charges.
Right.
You know.
Because
and it's not even rape. It's just it's not using a condom. It was consensual sex, not using a condom. Now he's in jail, and the U.S. is what they're doing now is they're trying to change the law so they can prosecute Julian Assange under spying. So that's the state of our world right now. It's like they can get you for anything. If they don't like you, they will find a way to get you, and that's what's happening to Roger.
Well, at least what's happening on the Big Island, what I'm seeing is that we have the county prosecutor and who's basically going against county law, what the voters voted for. They voted for this more than they voted for mayor. And he's saying, well, I just don't think, I think marijuana is a very dangerous drug, and so he's disregarding the voters. And it's a battle over their opinion now, and it's their job to uphold county ordinances, and he's making these excuses up about state and federal law when really he's our county prosecutor and should be upholding county law. And it's the same with the police officers. We have a question.
I do. I think it's a very interesting point that you're saying that it's a matter of opinion, because opinion doesn't count. It's data.
Mm-hmm.
And data shows that these opinions are not valid. And I just received something from the Drug Policy Alliance, and it says marijuana prohibition has resulted in more than 20 million arrests since 1970 and has deprived responsible people of their jobs, educational opportunities, property, and freedom. It is unique among American criminal laws. No law is both enforced so widely and harshly, yet deemed unnecessary by such a substantial portion of the population.
And I don't mean to make a non sequitur, but I heard a man who just came out with a book, and he was supported by something like the Rand Corporation. Now, this is a different issue, but I think it shows the same course, that gays in the military, in every single military in the world, and these are NATO partners of the United States, there is no problem whatsoever. They cannot find a problem. There are people who have an opinion, don't like it, but as far as unit cohesion and all the things that the government talks about, so I'm with you, Corey. We're in an age now where you're guilty, and now you're in debtor's prison. Let's see you get out.
Yeah.
So it's across the board in so many areas. The facts don't matter. Emotions matter.
I think Bonnie summed it up. Yeah, it's just amazing. People don't think, I think the majority of the population don't think that their neighbor should be thrown in jail for smoking a joint. It's just...
Or rapists being able to be bailed out.
Yeah.
Murders.
No, that bail is a basic constitutional.
And it's like marijuana is sort of a unifying aspect on the Big Island. And so this is sort of what I see the government doing, is this divide and conquer sort of attitude, supporting the drug war.
This is a funny, I listen to, for fun, I listen to Rush Limbaugh, and,
Me too.
But you do it seriously.
No.
But he was ranting today about, I think, I forget if it was the U.S. Department of Health, somebody in the governmental sector said, smoking one cigarette can kill you now. Smoking one cigarette, or just having a puff off of somebody's secondhand smoke can kill you now. And there's some official saying that.
Oh my God.
And then I hear Rush, he goes, and this is illegal? Or this is legal? But he fails to mention, why is pot illegal? Or, why are these other things, alcohol, legal? But there's a disconnection there. I don't know if it's
I think
political backing.
There always seems that it comes from the wrong tack. I mean, apropos what Randall was saying there. I mean, in a free society, you don't need a reason to make something legal, you need a reason to make something illegal. And that should always be the question. Why is pot illegal? Why aren't gays allowed in the military? And in fact, when the federal judge in California looked to those opposing it and said, give us your reason. Don't even make it legal, just give us a reason why you don't want gay marriage. And how it's going to impact the straight. Nobody could come up with an answer. You know, why is it illegal? Not why is it legal. It's always got to be the question.
What is it? It's a victimless crime. There's no victim. Why should somebody be thrown? Why should somebody be taken out of the community? That there's no victim. This doesn't make sense.
It's the dollar. It's the almighty dollar. You know, I mean, the prison union is one of the I think, third party that does not want a marijuana legalized. You know,
Oh, right, because
the private prisons are becoming, wow, very big thing.
the
And lots
prison
of money.
industrial
It
complex.
cost me $600 a month to keep Roger in, with just some privileges, to get a 7-minute phone call from him a night, to use the email. 90% of the time, he waits for them to pick him up, to take him for him to go to the legal library to look up, to work on our case, and they don't do it. So for him to use the computer, in the prison, to get a little bit of nutrition, a little bit of warmer clothes.
You have to pay out of pocket?
Yes, I've already sold my truck,
Like
my
an upgrade?
bicycle.
You get to upgrade prison sentence?
Yeah.
God.
So you can imagine, I mean, really, now Willie Nelson, will probably, and I hope he doesn't, not see prison, and it's because he's got the money behind him to do that. We don't. What they took from us was 3 months' rent, 3 months of what it took to run the ministry. When I've had people come and say, well, come on, you put some other money behind. There's no other money. Roger, I had to beg him, please stop giving so much away. We have to pay rent this month. That's who Roger is. You need something here. I mean, last year, there was a man that came through the window, because we always love to have the orchids in the windows, came through the window, and he had come home for dinner, and he'd gone back, and he noticed something funny, and he saw legs sticking under his desk. So he called the police, and then he said, come on out, and he had, I don't know what he had, I think he had a hemp stalk or something. And the guy said, I'm sorry, just my family, has denied me. I was hungry. I was just going to take a little money and stuff. And so he handed him a 20 and said, please go have the night at the hostel. And when the police said, what do you mean you let him go? That's Roger. He's a true minister. This is not a dangerous person. So what is the solution?
I'd like to go back a little bit to the reasons why marijuana is illegal. And I think that the best way to get to the bottom of it would be to follow the money and who's benefiting from the laws. And obviously we pointed out the private prisons and the industrial complex of the prison systems and the judicial systems, and the police obviously get a lot of money in order to do marijuana arrests. I also think that there are certain businesses that would have a difficult time competing with marijuana. Not only that, marijuana is also connected with hemp for some unknown reason. And you think about, man, if we could just legalize hemp in and of itself, that would allow huge movement and sustainability in this country, because it's such a renewable resource, grows so easily, so quickly, and produces such a strong fiber that we have to use less of it. I mean, you look at cotton t-shirt, you can only have one of these for about a year, but if you get a hemp t-shirt, now that's really solid and strong. And it's used for food, it's used for all these different things, and of course it has to be imported from outside of the country.
Because it's illegal.
Because it's illegal, I know, and for no good reason. I heard that the movement that stopped it being legal in the country was because of the paper industry. And it was competing so strongly.
In rubber.
Yeah, it was,
You can grow THC less hemp, but you can't tell from looking at it whether it is. That was also one of the problems, is that you could have fields of it, and you could look at it, and it would look just like marijuana with THC. That's also, I just thought that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about the drug aspect of it too. There are illegal drugs in this country that have much more of a harmful effect on the body
Oh, yes.
than pot. I mean, every single legal drug in this country has a more harmful effect on the body than pot. So,
Can I just say something real quick?
please.
I've discussed this issue with a lot of my friends, okay? And I think where a problem with the marijuana and the people that are trying to make it legal are comparing it to other stuff. I think to compare it to alcohol, you're putting it in that box. And I don't think that's good. If you say, well, it's less than this, then you just put it in the same box as alcohol.
Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right.
That's right.
Any logic professor will tell you that's a fallacy.
Yeah.
But I hear the arguments about these corporations because, I know from the left there's corporations behind everything. But you got to also accept that there's just a strong feeling that it would add to social ills. That having one more legal drug on the market is not a good thing. Now, I'm not saying that's the correct argument, but it's not. There's a lot of people who are anti-marijuana, not because corporations tell them to be anti-marijuana or because there's money in it for them, because they genuinely believe that people should not be under the influence of drugs, and they tend to be the same people who don't drink or who don't like to see people drunk, and certainly don't like people to abuse prescription drugs. I mean, I think that I think that's a valid point. You can't dismiss it. You can't dismiss people's genuine concern about having one more drug on the market.
All right, so I'm going to have to interrupt you guys. We have to really 1 more minute.
I just want to say, yes, I can dismiss it if I can use facts and logic and studies that show that these things are opinions, but they're based on, fallacies. Okay.
Well, thank you for joining us. This will be our last show of the semester. I'd like to just thank the community. Global Hope has grown a lot in this last semester. So please join us next semester. Aloha.
Mali Kulikimaka.